wonderful human beings. Today we're going to be doing some matcha recipes. It's been a while since I've made a video like this, but honestly there are so many ways that you can enjoy matcha. Some of them are really fun. I love to put them into baked dishes, sweets especially, and you can even put them into some savory recipes. So today's video is just to share some more inspiration, fun ways that you can switch it up a little bit. I have plenty more recipes like this on my blog, and we're gonna be skipping over the basics, but if you've never made matcha before or you'd like a guide on how to make it at home, I'll link my free guide below. Download it. It has everything you need to know about matcha and then some. Today we're gonna be making matcha pistachio granola, some matcha latte chia pudding, a microwavable matcha mug cake, and a virgin matcha martini, kind of like an espresso martini but made with matcha. I hope you enjoyed today's recipes. I'll leave all the details in the description box below, so check that out. And here we go. The first recipe we're starting with is a matcha martini. I'm making it mocktail style because I don't drink, but if you do drink, you could also make this with regular alcoholic gin and it would be just as delicious. This is basically a riff on an espresso martini, but a matcha martini instead, and I think it's such a fun, vibrant color. So to start, we are doing what we would always do with matcha. We're sifting the powder, adding some hot but not boiling water, and then whisking in an M shape until it's nice and frothy like this. You really want to put some muscle into it so it's nice and frothy. That helps to aerate the tea and it does impact the flavor a little bit as well. We are also adding some fresh lemon juice to the mix. So I'm using handy dandy pink lemon juicer for this, adding it to a shaker along with the whisked matcha. And then here I'm using a non-alcoholic gin alternative. Like I said, you could use regular gin if you are someone who drinks alcohol, but if not, just pick up any alternative. There are so many out there on the market these days. It's pretty incredible. I'm sweetening with a little bit of maple syrup, but you could also use a coconut sugar simple syrup, regular simple syrup, whatever you'd like. Any liquid sweetener will really work. Tossing in some ice for one more shake once again, this time to just chill the liquid so it's nice and cold when you pour it, and then using a strainer to serve and adding just a really simple garnish of a fresh mint leaf, which is optional. And there you have it. The next recipe we're making is a matcha chia pudding. Now, I was a little extra with it and I decided to make some layers of both a milk flavor and a matcha flavor, so it kind of looked like a matcha latte. So for both recipes, they're basically the same. You want to add some chia seeds, a little bit of maple syrup, some vanilla bean paste, which I always love to add, and some plant milk. I'll include all the ratios in the description box below so you have the full recipe. And I actually decided to make two different batches so that one batch could be the plain vanilla milk layer and the second batch could be the matcha flavor. And the second batch could be the matcha flavor. I also like to add just a tiny bit of salt, which also helps to enhance the flavor. And then I do a preliminary stir, then I stir in the matcha again. And I like to let the chia pudding kind of sit for a little bit so it thickens up, and I'll give it a stir periodically, but usually I'll refrigerate it overnight or for at least 3 hours until it's nice and thick. Then I'm assembling the layers here to make really pretty green and white patterns. This is completely optional, and topping it off with kiwis and matcha granola, which is the next recipe that I'll be showing you how to make. This is a matcha and pistachio granola. It is so delicious and really, really easy to make. So I usually use either cashew butter or almond butter along with maple syrup, a little bit of salt, and also some vanilla bean paste or vanilla extract. And this is the base of the granola. So it is really a great recipe because it's oil-free naturally, and you get the healthy fats from the nut butter or the seed butter that you're using to help it crisp up. I'm tossing in some rolled oats as well as some buckwheat groats for some extra crunch. I really love buckwheat groats. If you've never tried them, I highly recommend. And then I'm spreading it out on a lined baking sheet. This part is really crucial. You want to get it spread as thinly as possible because this way the granola can bake a little bit more evenly and it'll crisp up. I personally like to add the matcha powder after it comes out of the oven because when you heat up matcha beyond a certain temperature, it can actually make the matcha taste really bitter and rids some of the health benefits. So I think this is the best way to do it. And it'll make a pretty green when you add it to milk. Our last recipe is a matcha mug cake. This one can be easily made in the microwave, and I think it's so fun because it's such a great single serving mug cake. They actually used to sell something like this in Japan when I was a kid, where you would add an egg and microwave it and you'd get the perfect souffle-like cake. Obviously this version is eggless and it's also gluten-free, but it's super simple to make and great when you want maybe muffins or a cupcake or any kind of cake, but you don't want to make a whole batch, you just want a single serve. The matcha adds such a nice color and also kind of helps to tone down the sweetness, which I really like. like. So you can use any microwave safe mug. I always like to use this happy face mug because I think it's the perfect size. And optional sprinkles I'm adding on here. Highly recommended though. And after a little time in the microwave, you have the perfect mug cake. All right, beans, that is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed these recipes. Let me know in the comments which one you would try first, or if you've tried any of these already. If you're looking for more matcha videos, I actually have a ton on my YouTube channel at this point. And as a reminder, I'm gonna leave that link for the free downloadable guide in the description box below. And I will see you in another video soon. Bye.